Hello, hello. Welcome back to Finding Spirit with Tabs. I'm your host, Tabs McCaffrey, and I'm a psychic medium here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. On this show, I share my own personal experience as I grow and develop my psychic medium abilities, Akashic records, spirit guides, and now QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique. I share everything and anything spiritually related, and I like to consider myself a pretty grounded and practical psychic medium. And through these episodes, I'm going to show you how that's possible. So today's episode is our Mindset Monday episode, and I haven't done one of these in a couple weeks. This episode has been playing and looping within my mind for a couple weeks now, and it really started showing up in my own personal journey. And when things start playing in loops, showing up in my life, I know that it's time to share it and that this is the right space and timeline for you to hear it as well. So today's episode is When You Listen, Life Flows, spirit guides, timelines, and yourself, everything. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about something, like I said, that's really been on my heart and my mind. It's been quiet nudges, gut feelings, all these things coming through to talk about this and to share this. So I know this is the direction that I am supposed to be going. Have you noticed that when you listen to those nudges, those quiet guidances, that things start to fall in place for you? Opportunities may arise, connections happen. It just feels like things start to work out for you. And then on the flip side, when you ignore those nudges, when you silence them, when you tell them, not now, like I have to deal with this, I'll do that later, or in X amount of timeline, I will do that stuff, it starts to feel like everything is a struggle. So when we're not listening, we start to feel that friction within our life. And you end up repeating lessons, going in circles, and truly it feels like life has you put on hold. And I hear that so often with clients when they're like, I am feeling stuck. What is blocking me? What is holding me back? And oftentimes it's that we haven't really been following the nudges and the guidance that we've been receiving from the other side, or from our spirit guides, or from universe, source, whatever, whoever is guiding us in the moment, right? And trying to keep us on our life path and the path that we signed up for within this lifetime. So that's what I wanted to dive into today, how to listen to those whispers so that you can move forward and get out of that stuck, slow, stagnant feeling that you've been in. I'm also going to share a recent example of my own life where this nudge came through and it created a beautiful ripple effect. It was literally the drop in the ocean, or the drop, not even the ocean, because that's pretty rough. Let's just say the drop in a glass of water that created the ripple effect. And I'm seeing that ripple effect right now. And I think that you can take nuggets from this today and apply it into your own life. So we're going to talk about a fascinating idea that Dolores Cannon often talks about. And it's about how every choice can totally shift our timelines. So if you've been feeling stuck or second guessing those nudges, this episode is for you. Now, I have been diving into Dolores Cannon's work through the quantum healing hypnosis technique course that I'm taking through her. You're going to start to hear threads of her within my content, but I think there's a lot of wisdom that she shares, and I think you're going to find resonance within your own life. Now, today, what are these nudges? What am I talking about when I say listen to those nudges? Sometimes we'll see this in our life where opportunities come in front of us, or we get a feeling that we should make a phone call that after we make the phone call, it makes total sense. Sometimes you might get a nudge to just book a session or take a class, and then after the class you see why you were having that feeling, or you'll say, oh, thank goodness I listened to that nudge to do it. That's how it will show up. These are ways that our intuition, our guides, our higher self are trying to get our attention. That's how they do it. It's like these knowings, these nudges, these little hints, those gut feelings when you're like, I don't know why I'm thinking this, but this thought is coming through. They're usually really gentle and oftentimes quite subtle. They're very they're very faint. It's almost like a whisper. And if you're not tuning in, if you're not listening, or you don't have space in your life where you can accept and receive those types of messages, you can easily miss them. They're really just trying to steer you towards your most aligned path. I do think when you start to listen, everything really starts to fall into place. And again, they're not loud, they're not forceful, they're very subtle, but we have to slow down to allow space for them so that we can notice them, catch them, and hopefully begin to trust them as well. I recently had a couple nudges within my life to take a jump and make a leap that I had been putting off. And if you listen to my last episode, I'll pop it up here if you're on YouTube, about my QHHT session. So I had this kind of nudge quite a while ago that I should look into the course. And of course, I'm like, you know what? It just doesn't work for me right now. I'm going to wait until I have more time, just because I knew it was a big time commitment to take on. The way life plays out is you'll get these little subtle nudges. It's been in my radar. I've gone to the website probably like 5 times in the last year, and I'm always like, hey, it's just not the right time. It's just not the right time. I'll do it when I have more time. And probably about 6 weeks ago now, I had a client that came and told me about a past life regression they were having. And I was like, oh, it's on my radar. It's on my radar. I want to do something with it. I just waiting for the right time. So she told me her story. I was totally inspired by it. It hit home for me. It really resonated. And I was like, okay, very interesting. Next client, back to back, drops this little nudge. Have you ever thought of taking QHHT or doing past life regressions? And I'm like, I have. I just haven't really had time. I said I'm kind of waiting till next year where I have more space. And it's on my radar. Now, I'm the kind of person that when I get nudged more than once on a specific topic that isn't necessarily in my direct field, so QHHT was not in my direct field of vision, right? It was something that I'd kind of placed to the side. But when I get 2 strong nudges for something, especially back to back happening within, we'll say 24 to 48 hours, that is my sign from my guides that I need to tune in and listen. Of course, ended up booking the session, going to the session, getting the validation that I needed, because I need validation on spiritual stuff. If I'm going to experience something and bring it into my belief system, I need to have proof. I need to have a sliver of proof. But yeah, this session completely blew my mind and gave me more than enough proof. So here I am, finished my QHHT course, and now going into my practice sessions to get my certification. But it's just an example how it's just like subtle things. It doesn't necessarily come in as a knowing. It might come through a song. It might come in through a message from someone else. It's just really starting to listen and pay attention to patterns that pop up within your life that maybe are not, I don't want to use the word normal, but they aren't, they aren't normal to your situation in the moment. I hope that makes sense the way I'm explaining it. Now, what happens when we don't listen to these nudges? When we ignore these, we don't pick up on these guidances, it doesn't mean that we won't have them again, but oftentimes we will kind of detour. And through these detours, we will often see kind of like the timeline pausing. So this means that you're not necessarily moving at the rate and on the path that you're aligned and meant to be on. It can take you down the bumpy scenic route where you're like, I'm not getting anywhere. I feel like I'm stalled out. I feel like I'm blocked. You may start to see some repeating patterns also happening when you ignore those nudges. So Dolores Cannon talks about this in a really beautiful way. And she said that every choice that you make can shift the timeline that you're on, leading to slightly different outcomes. So when you ignore those nudges, you might shift to a timeline that no longer takes you to where your heart really wants to go because you've detoured it, per se. So the lesson here would be those nudges matter, that you're supposed to listen to them, that those are the breadcrumb paths pointing you in the right direction. So when they come through, I want you to think about that. What is holding me back? Is it doubt? Is it fear? Am I just busy? And what can I do to integrate some of these nudges or these decisions or maybe these steps that I need to take, even though I feel all of these things, right? What is the higher meaning behind these nudges and these guidance and these, I always want to say like these things that we need to do, take action on or do. And how do we still get past those feelings of doubt, fear, busyness? And a lot of it comes down to slowing down and creating space. And oftentimes, and this is the message that came through for me, I'm busy, but if I were to just introduce them into my path, it doesn't mean I have to do them 100%. If I was just to take a couple steps in that direction, it would actually align with the path that I'm on, and oftentimes make the path that I'm on much easier. So it's just a different way of looking at it. It's not necessarily making a giant change within your life. Sometimes it's just, how do I take just a baby step in that direction, or listening to that nudge or listening to that guidance, and just, it's almost like pulling at the thread of a fabric, right? You just kind of tug on the thread, just keep pulling on it lightly. You don't have to rip the whole thread out right now. Just keep kind of tugging in it so that your timeline doesn't redirect or shift, and that you keep it within the aligned path that you are meant to be on. Now, this isn't just spiritual. It's grounded into our brains too. So neuroscientists tell us about the reticular activating system, the RAS, and we've spoken about this many times. It's the part of our brain that acts like a filter. So whatever you focus on, you're going to find more of. So when you listen to those nudges and you move forward, what does your brain do? What does your body do? What does your energy do? It all shifts to more opportunities in that direction. It feels like it's aligning with you within those choices. And it truly is. Your brain starts to filter for those. Spiritually, this is more about trust, if anything. It's about knowing that you're supported and that those nudges aren't random, and that following them can save you time, also heartache sometimes, and keep you on the path and keep you on this aligned direction that you're seeking and wanting to be on. The takeaway on this, you don't have to trust the whole path. You truly just have to be brave enough to take the first step. And I hope today's episode gives you a little bit of courage to take that first step. Let's go over some simple ways to listen and stay aligned, because I always like these practical tips. How do you carry this forward within your life? I want you to do a pause and check-in. At least once a day, I want you to connect with yourself. If you have to place a hand on a heart, I always like that. That just connects you with your inner peace. Am I feeling nudged to do something right now? Okay. What am I being nudged to do right now? What do I need to listen to? Ask yourself that. Oftentimes, you'll have this knowing within you. And give yourself space to listen. If you need a few minutes, take it. This is not you going to hide in the bathroom and sit on the toilet and, okay, I got 3 minutes. This is you creating 5 to 10 minutes, sit down on the edge of your bed. Maybe it's in your vehicle. Maybe it's right before you go to bed or sitting on the couch. It doesn't take a lot of time to do these check-ins. And the more you do them, the more natural it'll feel, the more information you'll have flowing through. The other one is just practice small action. You don't have to do it all. Sometimes it's just making that one phone call, sending that one email, looking into that class that you keep getting nudged to. Check out the dates that are coming up, right? It's just taking those tiny steps forward. Action creates momentum. And momentum is what's going to shift your timeline and keep you moving on that aligned path. Momentum cannot be gained when you stand still, when you take no action. Momentum can only be gained and built on by steps, by taking steps forward. So here's my invitation to you this week. Notice the nudges. Listen to the downloads, the pings, the knowings, the gut feelings, and trust them. Say yes when you're feeling that you should say yes. Even if it's to small things, you're aligning with the path that feels more open, more supported, and more like you. You don't have to figure it all out. You just have to be open to what the next step can be. And with that, I'm going to leave you there. I hope this helps you and meets you wherever you are on your journey and gives you that little bit of courage, like I said, to move forward today and to connect and listen to those nudges, those guidances, those gut feelings that are coming through. All right, guys, if you're new to the channel, I encourage you to hit like, subscribe, drop a comment, let me know, how do you feel with this message? Is this resonating with you today? Did you need to hear this today? I'd love to hear from you guys. Also, what are some nudges and some guidance that you've been receiving recently? With that, I'm going to head out of here. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you later this week for episode 2 of my QHHT session. And the one this week is going to be the past life regression part, so you don't want to miss that one. I'm going to head out of here. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for walking this path with me. Bye.